Good morning and welcome to the Quantum Leap Futures Morning Leap session for Wednesday, February the 7th, 2018. My name is Doug McKay. I'm the founder of Quantum Leap Futures. Each morning we get together in these live go-to sessions to take a look at the market macro to micro, take a look at the structure of the market, and then we drill down to our trade levels, our targets, and our hypotheses for the day. We do create multiple hypotheses. It's not to hedge our bet. It's to keep our bias level. We create two main hypotheses based on who takes control in the RTH session, the buyers and the sellers. And then we have two alternative 3 and 4 hypos, which is our expansion hypos, which you needed a lot of those yesterday and Monday. Of course, I wasn't here. I was away from trading and completely missed the last 2 days of trading. And huge days they were. If you take a look at the ranges so far, the range for yesterday was the full session was 170 and 3/4, and the RTH was 110.75, and then the full range for Monday was 167.25. Those are just huge days. And it looked like, that can't be right. Hold on 1 second. I think something is wrong here. Okay, no, the RTH session was bigger. I'm surprised that yesterday was actually a higher range than Monday, the full session, but not in the RTH. We did take a big dip down in the Globex on Monday night and put that week low in. Our week low and our month low is down at 25.29. Just remember that our month open is way above us at 28.28.75. Our year open was 26.75.75. So right now we're just above the year open. I wanted to put that into my chart just to mark it because we're so close to it. All right, so in terms of creating trading levels, it's going to be very difficult today. The average daily range right now has expanded out to 43.03, and if you look at yesterday's average rotations, excuse me for 1 second. Sorry about that. If you look at yesterday's average rotations, the average rotations for the last 2 days have just been absolutely humongous. So the average combined yesterday was 24 points. Now, just to put that into perspective, that on an average day, our average rotations are around 3 to 4 points. So you can see that this is just absolutely huge. So when we're looking at the levels, it's hard to look at this right here, which is 110 points, because what are you going to lean against? So you have to really go to the bigger picture and then break it down into the major points, and then take a look at the Globex. Even the Globex range was 36 overnight range. So I mean, we have very, very large areas to think about. But what I've done so far is I've taken some of the key levels and put them. These are the only levels that I can really find to trade. You've got the rising VWAP down here, and of course you've got yesterday's VPOC, which is down at 37. Value area means absolutely nothing, so you have to go really to the LVNs on the bigger picture. I'm actually going to use the open, and we still have some gaps down here that we missed from yesterday, going down even lower. But right now we're trading above the 2018 year open. Our 2-day balance is is down here at the 43 area, which is basically just above the VPOC from yesterday. So we had a lot of buyers coming in here. You can see that this area is actually from the 45 down to the 34. It's pretty thick with volume. Obviously, algos have been kicking in big time. OTF has been participating. We have huge volume. What was the volume yesterday? 3.2 million. So that's about three times the normal volume that we usually see, and a lot of that is coming from OTF activity and algos kicking in. It's not retail, I can tell you that. So last night, sorry, 1 second. Got a frog in my throat I can't get rid of. Overnight inventory is pretty much, I'd say 95% net short to 100% net short, although we are coming back up into the balance that we had. Most of the night our VPOC was at 2690, then it shifted down to the 2670, and now it's shifted back up to the 86 and a quarter. Now the overall microcomposite, I've drawn a new microcomposite that actually encompasses from the breakout of this balance that we were in for a while down here around that 25, 80, 75 microcomposite VPOC. You can see that's the most prominent on the board once we get back into that balance. But going from the breakout day through to yesterday, the most prominent volume is at 2685. So right now, that's the microcomposite VPOC. So the two most important levels on the board right now in terms of balance or value is here at the 2685 and the 2-day balance at the 43. And we could get stuck chopping, in this area as we mature the auction down here, and try to find some value between these 2 points, or confirm one of these 2 points. So those are 2 important points. Obviously, we missed the 2700 by 1 tick yesterday afternoon. Our Globex high is 2697.50, so we rejected it in the Globex as well. That would become a very important level up there at the 2700 as well. And then above the 2700, there's really not a lot to guide us until we get up into that 22 area. So again, very, very difficult when you get this type of action, that there's no value being created and the algos are just going to take it wherever they want. And if you've been struggling, this is not the time to be in the market. This is the time to observe the market and let them have their way, because if you get on the wrong side of a position in seconds, it can be very bad for you. So just keep that in mind. I'm going to be very selective on my trades today, and I'm going to try to not get taken by any of these algos. So in terms of, we have taken back a large chunk of that down move. I think they're probably going to explore both sides today. So I'm looking for a rotational day with a downside bias towards this 43. I'm going to be using the 85 area. It's actually 8475, which is the microcomposite VPOC. I'm going to be using that as my over underline. And basically letting that guide me, because below it, I think we come down and we challenge the year open, and we push down towards the overnight low and into where the VPOC was most of the time last night, which is down here in that 70 area. So I'm going to be targeting that 70 and a quarter. If we do not hold above the 79, the VWAP, the midpoint, the LVN from overnight is all around that 79 area. So I'm going to be watching that. Above that, I think we rotate back up towards the overnight VPOC and the microcomposite VPOC, and probably push up through to close the gap up at the 2690. So in terms of hypo 1 and hypo 2, they're going to be equally weighted, because I think we'll probably see both sides, just don't know who's going to take control first. So hypo 1 is going to be an open auction because the overall trend up is still intact. And let's just take a look at that, because I wanted to emphasize this. We came down and tested the 9 EMA from above on the monthly, but we held. So the overall monthly trend, the larger time frame trend, is still intact. It was challenged and it failed to break below. When you go to the weekly, okay, we did challenge the trend, and we are in between the 9 and the 20 SMA, the 9 EMA and the 20 SMA. So we have challenged and briefly violated, but we've taken it back and we're holding. So you're going to be paying attention to the 5250 level, and just keep an eye on that. If we break below that, then I think you should be targeting that 43 and 37 level. And that is a trade level. I'll just mark that on there, that is the weekly 20 SMA. So we want to keep an eye on that. So hypo 1, open auction, in range. There's no value from yesterday. Responsive buying up into the 2690 area to 2700, and then somewhere between there, I'm looking for a rotation down, okay, down through to test the 6950, and if that does not hold, a push through to the 60 and down to the 53. And then basically, I think we're going to be chopping in this area as hopefully they start to find some value. So that is hypo 1. Hypo 2, open auction, in range, a push down, and then somewhere between the 60 and 52, I'm looking for them to base and start rotating back up towards the 2690 with large rotations again today, but tightening, not as great as average rotation of 24 points that we saw yesterday, but tightening up a bit. Hypo 3 is a open test drive failure to take out the 2670 area, push up, break above the 2700 and push up into the 22 and move back into the 2700s and chopping between the 2700 and 2740 area. Hypo 4 is an open auction failure to take out the 2700 or a false break. Sellers take control and rotate us all the way back down towards the 37, chop here and push down and test this 2500s once again. It's anybody's guess what's going to happen. These are very, very difficult days to set up hypotheses in a trade plan because the ranges are going to be so huge. So, what is an impulse? What do we consider an impulse wave today? I don't know. Above 30? So it's just a matter of, taking your shots, keeping them tight, and trying to catch, the momentum and really using your order flow to give you clues to what is possibly going to go on rather than what we'd have when we have a normal auction. This is not a normal auction. This is a correction, and we don't know if it's done yet. It's not generally done and taken back in one day, so we could see some further downside on this. So just be careful. Anyway, that's going to complete our pre-market session. As always, trade well, trade safe, and we'll catch you on the flip side.